As you guys know, LG has recently been caught lying to a bunch of consumers about HDMI 2.1. Well, today I see a lot of people trying to damage control that, saying it doesn't matter and it would have been wasted data anyway. So those reallocated resources are better spent on things like processing, which is still inferior to Sony OLED. Just saying. And also Sony's X1 Extreme and X1 Ultimate chips anyway. But I'll digress and I'll give you guys the facts on why it actually does matter. For starters, for those eARC lovers out there who are looking for HDMI 2.1 support for better uncompressed audio, well, the 48 gigabyte per second speed would have improved that for you, and now you are seeing a turnaround on that. And that is huge because this means that your uncompressed, lossless Dolby Atmos files will be a lesser version than what they were supposed to be, which again, is a big problem for those who are trying to future-proof this product. Now, we see an ignorant statement coming out of a lot of people lately on the channel and in general saying that you don't get 12-bit support, you don't get any support, really. I've actually seen people say you get no benefit whatsoever off of the BT 2020 color space on a 10-bit display. Now, this is where I take protest because that is false information and misinformation. The fact is, Rec 2020 defines either 10 bits per sample or 12 bits per sample. So, for you, this means that 10 bits per sample can be used for greater color coverage, resulting in smoother gradations and less posterization artifacts on 10-bit displays. Now, the main 10 HEVC profile enables ITUR BT 2020 HEVC. So this basically means that H2.64, which you guys are seeing in a bunch of specifications for TVs and stuff like that, which has a 40 megabyte per second transfer speed, but it caps at 4K 60, so it's not really future-proofed, if you know what I'm saying. But it also enables the H.265, which has a 100 megabytes per second transfer speed on 10-bit displays, and that caps out at, I believe, 4K at 120 hertz. So obviously that's the target. The big takeaway here for you in English is that you lose BT 2020 on 10-bit displays with high frame rate support at 4K 120 hertz, which again, it's a huge loss for you because it means future proofing is basically gone. The whole reason you bought a 2.1 device in 2020, which already was a bad idea, I'm just going to throw that out there, but you lost the main benefit, which was future proofing, right? Now, we also know that 48 gigabytes per second is the target speed for HDMI 2.1. If you Google it, it's the first thing that'll pop up. So now seeing a lower speed is an inadequate version of what you were supposed to buy and what you actually thought you were buying, because when you hear HDMI 2.1, typically it means 48 gigabytes per second. So anything less than that, I don't care who the manufacturer is, it is less. And that is not what you kind of were aiming for, right? So now we have to look to next gen. How will that affect next gen gaming? What will this bait and switch mean for the future FreeSync patch that was promised? And you know it was done to push 8K, right? So obviously this is a chicey move. It's a move that I don't really like, but it was done. So I still say wait till 2020. I've been saying that, and I'm going to triple down, infin it down, and say wait till 2021. I'm sorry. I said 2020. I mean 2021. All right. Now, another thing I wanted to address for you guys is you're going to see a lot of people claiming that it's 40 gigabytes per second. But the reality is I read the same excerpt on Forbes.com. And if you read at the very last section of that, where they're talking about that the W10, the G10, and the C10 OLEDs will instead support and handle 10-bit rather than 12 on a 4K signal at 120 hertz with RGB chroma sampling 4.4.4. That's great and everything, but this is the part you might want to take away from all that. This implies a likely 40 gigabytes per second data rate. Now, the key words here are implies and likely. That lets you know immediately that it is hearsay. This is not an official confirmation from LG. LG has not provided you the numbers in any way, shape, and or form. You are guessing at this point. Stop guessing. Get them to give you the full numbers, and then we can go at this with a fully educated prognosis at that point in time. Because right now, we are guessing as to the performance of these OLEDs, the performance of the impact of them lying, and the reality is they lied about HDMI 2.1. I haven't heard a single source say this yet, so I'll be the first. LG downgraded their OLEDs, their 4K TVs from 2020 to 2021, okay? Or rather from 2019 to 2020. I'm so mixed up with these years because there's a lot of waiting involved and extra years we got to tack on here. But the reality is last year's models are better. Buy last year's models. They are a whole hell of a lot cheaper. I mean, seriously, a lot cheaper. I saw European prices at like $1,900 versus $2,799. I mean, really, there's no contest, right? And at this point in time, honestly, guys, I think really just wait till 2021 because next generation consoles will have already have come out and TV technology would have improved and be targeting those next generation console gamers specifically. So that's my say there. But the big thing is, if you were hoping for future proofing, if you were hoping for better gradations on your 10-bit display with more vibrant, visually appealing color, that's going to be the big takeaway here. If you were hoping for less compression through, again, better implementations of electromagnetic interference kind of controls and things like that, that kind of stuff is being walked back. So when I said that you don't have support for that level of BT 2020 with future HDR technologies, this is what I was talking about, and I really hope this cleared it up. I know I saw a couple people asking me, what do I mean when I say support? This is what I mean about support. And simply put, you can have 10 bits per sample and 12 bits per sample under the Rec 2020 color space, and that's just as simple as it gets. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys so much for watching the #1 brand in honesty. Stay tuned until the next video, and until then, I'll see you guys later.